or we're gonna come out with something new. It's gonna be something new, I believe, more than nothing. And when the court see it today, for the very first time, as we are gonna see it for the very first time on the minority side, it's a shame. It is sad that the supermajority has to go behind walls trying to draw a map to keep us voiceless.
But the worst part about it is, and I've said this before, this map captures it's like a checklist of non-compliance. It like goes through the Supreme Court order and it says, map close, percentages close to 39%, so we failed that. And then it has legislative findings attached to it that attempt to make the same losing argument about Mobile that the Supreme Court said no. So from the beginning of this week until now, it took all this time for it to dawn on me. Don't take this personal. This is all about process. But there was never any intent in this building to comply with that court order.
Where does that, where did you get the information for that map? And you said, it could have come from the internet or something. And we all burst into laughter.
The opportunity map was emailed in. I found out subsequently by a political consultant by the name of Chris Brown.
Well, let me bring in Mobile. I know that you have said that Mobile is not a community of interest, right? That's your assessment, right?
No, I said Mobile and Baldwin is a community of interest.
No. I beg to differ with you. We have more in common with the Black Belt than we do with Baldwin County. And I don't know why we keep lumping the two. Besides economic development, what are some of the other characteristics for minorities, Black folks that are in Mobile as it relates to Baldwin County? Baldwin County is a pretty affluent county.
We have taken all the data as best we could, as I've discussed over and again, to manage that process as best we can to come up with what we think is a good outcome, and I feel very good about where we are today. I think if you look at the numbers, you look at the details in each of those different categories, we've tried to navigate that to create two districts of opportunity, which is what the order said we were supposed to do. So I'm confident that we've done a good job with it. It will be up to the courts to decide whether they agree.
We have failed the people that send us down here to do their business. Unfortunately, the federal courts have had to make Alabama stand and do the right thing. I called on my fellow colleagues to be fair about this process, but they failed to do it. And today I'm wearing a shirt that actually talks about what this vote does. If nothing else, this vote is a defiant vote. It's one that dehumanizes a people. It dehumanizes a people that have struggled just to have the opportunity to say that they really exist in the state of Alabama as Americans.
Today is a sad day in the state of Alabama. We only had one job this week. One job. And that was to follow the ruling of the United States Supreme Court. And we couldn't get that right. All we were tasked for was to ensure that we have two majority districts, congressional districts, in which we have a minority represent our cause. 1 out of 4 Americans are Black in the state of Alabama. But we only have one congressperson that goes to Congress in District 7, Congressman Terry Sewell, that represents the minority position, the Democratic position in Congress. We were challenged to get 2 districts, and today we failed. I asked the question, was it ever intention for us to get those 2 districts? We started out with committee meetings, and until this day, we ended up with a map that got further and further apart for us accomplishing that task of having 2 congressional districts. We find relief again, hopefully, in the Supreme Court.
I will have to tell you, although it was what I expected would happen in the end, my heart still hurts. And I'm just so disappointed because, I try to keep that hope in people that one day we will come to a point where we can be fair with each other and realize that all of God's children need their voices heard, they need to be represented, and they need to have a seat at the table. But that didn't happen. So I'm still disappointed. It's what I expected, but I'm still disappointed. I was very honored to carry that map that the plaintiffs had compromised on and made it a remedial map between all of the maps that they had before the Supreme Court, because it represented true representation for all of Alabama's citizens. And it brought Mobile in, and Mobile is an economic hub too. Mobile is the second largest city in the state, and we have a large Black population. I just think that bringing Mobile into that map was definitely the right thing to do, and it gave representation. It gave us 2 districts where the Black population had an opportunity to elect a candidate of their choice, because it was at least 50% in both districts, in Districts 2 and District 7. So that map to me was definitely the one that truly was fair. And although the Supreme Court did not have one of its priorities, the community interest part that kept coming up, we still had the community interests in place as well, the communities of interest in place. So I was very honored to carry it, and I know that is the map that will do for Alabama what we were all trying to achieve. It's very disheartening that you're supposed to be working together as a state legislature for all of or in the best interests of all of its citizens. And I asked my colleagues, how would you feel if you were that 28% minority? How would you feel if all of our constitutional officers were Black Democrats? How would you feel if all of our state Supreme Court and all of our, higher courts were Black Democrats? They wouldn't like it. They would want representation. So for the life of me, I can't see why they can't see why this is so important to us. And, God created all of us equally. And in His word, He tells us to love each other. In His word, He says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So this is why it just breaks my heart that we are still dealing with things like this in 2023 that we've already had to deal with back in the 50s and 60s. We're right back where we were.